Welcome everyone to episode 5 of the Farmer Crop Podcast. And looking at my notes, I never changed the number, but it's fine. It says 3 on there. We're on 5. We know what we're on, so it's fine. We have Farmer Crop here and
T
or Thomas or whatever you want to call him.
I really like the cue you give me.
Yep. Do you like that?
You just kind of raise your eyebrows and look off.
I'm like, and who are you, little boy? I'm just kidding.
Like you forget my name every day.
Yeah, it's like, and what's your name again?
This guy. A complete stranger walks into FC's every day.
I can just record the podcast.
I'm ready.
Oh gosh. And this one, we recorded 2 episodes this week. The episode you guys saw this week, you saw yesterday on the 11th, and that one we recorded on the 10th. And then next week's episode we're recording on the 12th, which that's not very unusual for us to record about a week in advance. But the unusual part about this week is we recorded the other episodes so late that we have almost nothing in the farm sim world to talk about because, well, it's
they've probably
been like 2 days.
Something.
Probably.
They've probably done a day's worth of work.
They probably have. It's probably a good guess. But as always, let us know down in the comments what you guys want to see, what you guys like, what you guys' thoughts are about the podcast, and feel free to message me on Facebook, Discord, or farmercop911@gmail.com, which is my email. But yeah, the podcast should be on most platforms. It's definitely on the Spotify and stuff like that, and it's all good to go. But yeah, weekly sub update. We did gain just over 100 subs since we last recorded, which is nice. As far as the Farmer Crop channel, we're at 74,900, so by next week we'll be at 75,000.
Only 100 away.
I know, less than 100 away. We're actually at 74,918. So, yeah, we're 82 away. If my math is correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what we got going on. We did still get a couple of comments from you lovely people since then, so we can go over some comments real quick from the podcast.
CNS Gaming. It's my first initial of my first. Wait, it's my first. Oh, he's referring to his name,
yes.
CNS.
Because we made fun of it last stream. We were talking about it, just talking about the possibilities that it could be. So CNS made a comment. You can keep.
And he says, for CNS, it's my first initial of my first and last name. Laughing cry, laughing cry. IK, which is I know. Not very creative, LOL. But you guys can call me anything. ... Oh wait, what did I just say? No take backsies. No take backsies.
Your name is Charles Smithy.
Charles Smithy. I was thinking Cadbury Smith. So
I like that's combined them. Cadbury Schmitty.
Cadbury Schmitty. Well, glad you gave us such power, Cadbury Schmitty. If you keep commenting, it's just going to change every week.
Clarence Sam.
I've lost it.
There's so many possibilities. Literally, you just have C and S. Look at you so. Anyhow, I like that you read. I love that you read everything and narrated the emojis that were part of the comment.
It's important because what if I can't give anything out of context? If I'm quoting, it has to be a direct quote.
Oh gosh, that's hilarious. That's too funny. Oh gosh, I need our drink coffee.
Plagiarized CNS's gaming comment.
Anyhow, and then Farmer Envoy Extreme made a comment about the coffee brand. Said, I like the idea of a coffee brand. Any chances of a donut flavored coffee? Donuts and coffee in one go. And having a donut with donut flavored coffee is recommended.
Huh. This could be amazing, or it could be horrifying. Mountain Dew recently released a hot Cheeto flavored Mountain Dew.
Oh.
And I've tried it. I don't know if you have.
I have. No, I would never try that.
It's spicy Mountain Dew. It's spicy Mountain Dew. And it makes you cough. It's like that kind of spicy.
Oh, God.
Where it lasts in the back of your throat for minutes after you've taken one sip.
What a refreshing beverage.
Just coughing. Because of the spiciness.
Oh, gosh.
So, in the same line, if this turned out poorly, it would just be coffee that gives people diabetes.
Really an American dream.
Just finally, I don't have to eat 2 things
to get diabetes. I can get it with one
I
beverage.
can have coffee.
Then we can come up with our canned products, and it'll be like diabetes in a can. But in all seriousness, for my voice stream, that could be a very good idea. So with the, I'm using, obviously I don't have my own coffee roaster in my basement, though that would be cool. But I do not have my own coffee roaster in my basement, nor do I probably have the money to invest in that.
How would you infuse donut flavor into coffee? Would you roast donuts with the beans?
I have no idea.
You just throw a couple donuts.
I'll just use the leftover donuts from church, bring them home, and roast them into my coffee. Our church has donuts every Sunday, so that's where that came from. But
because we're cool.
And there's always a few extras. The one week, it was just so funny. There was all the donuts were taken except for there was just a bunch of, there's like 6 random, or no, not 6, it's more than that. It was like 10 just randomly placed, and they're all the jelly-filled donuts. No one wanted them.
Why doesn't nobody want those?
I don't know. They were just, that was all that was left, just randomly throughout. Every other donut was gone.
Those are either the ones that go first or the ones that nobody touches.
Yeah, very interesting.
There's no middle ground.
I'm not a fan of like
they're such
stuffed
an unusual thing. You don't like the cream filling?
No cream filling, no berry filling. I like me an old school OG original glazed donut.
That's interesting.
Yep. That's what OG stands for. It stands for original glaze.
You enjoy it with a cup of coffee.
I do, absolutely.
You enjoy. Do you always have a donut with coffee?
No.
Or do you always have coffee with your donut? If there's a donut, you have to have coffee with it.
I don't always, and the only time that I wouldn't is when I was on graveyard, on the Sunday night graveyard, so that it started Sunday night and ended Monday morning. Towards the end of the shift at like 5 a.m. when the grocery stores started opening up and having fresh donuts, the whole shift would go to a grocery store to buy donuts.
Yeah.
So we'd go there, buy donuts, bring them back to the station and eat them. And I wouldn't drink coffee then because I wanted to go to bed when I got off work still.
That makes sense.
So that's the only time like I wouldn't do it. I could find like some decaf. Like I don't drink a lot of decaf. I'm not like anti-decaf per se. I'm mostly anti-decaf. I would say I'm only 2% pro decaf.
2% pro decaf.
2%. Because I think 98% of situations you should have regular coffee. But the 2% I think are like times like when you work night shift and you're almost off and you're like, you know what? I want the flavor of coffee.
You still appreciate the flavor.
Because I like black coffee. Like I mean, I do need the caffeine in some aspects, but I don't just drink it for that. Because if I just did it for the caffeine, I could drink energy drinks or other stuff, but I prefer to have black coffee.
Exactly. The flavors are synonymous. It's like you would sacrifice your caffeine for the flavor and the pairing of the two.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I disagree with your opinion about filled donuts.
Filled donuts.
Sometimes you wake up and
I was like, which opinion? I was like, I cast so many in this last 5 minutes.
It's like Christmas morning. It's like sometimes you wake up. For some reason, this morning always happens on Christmas morning, but it happens other times throughout the year. Where it's like, you know what sounds good? Pudding in a cake.
I've never had that.
And okay, no, that's not true because you make these cheesecake things.
Oh, I know what you're
in
talking
the
about.
morning.
But there's not pudding in those.
Farmer Cop has this breakfast, quote unquote, that he makes, where he just fills what's it?
Crescent rolls.
Croissant rolls, like the Pillsbury crescent rolls. He
yeah.
makes a sheet of crescent rolls on a pan, and then he lays down a layer of cream cheese.
An inch thick with
an inch thick of cream cheese.
It's like think of it as like a cheesecake, like a more liquefied cheesecake.
Yeah. Well, then he puts another layer of croissant on top of it. Then he bakes it.
Well, then you got to forget that I based it with like an egg white, and then I sprinkle cinnamon sugar on the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
So you can't forget that step.
I've never actually seen you make it. Do you just lay sticks of cream cheese?
No. You mix it up with sugar and like you put, so it takes one egg. The egg white is for the top. The egg yolk goes into the cream cheese filling. With the sugar, some vanilla.
So you do kind of do like a cheesecake thing.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a cheesecake.
Okay, these are his.
But it's not pudding.
Quote unquote. Okay, no, you can't say that. This is solid cream cheese with sugar in it.
I can't argue that. The recipe's literally sitting right there.
I know.
On the bottom of that. Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Here, I'll just give you the amounts. 2 packages cream cheese softened.
Of course.
3/4 cup sugar. 1 large egg yolk. 1 teaspoon vanilla. 2 packages crescent rolls. 1 egg white. He makes a giant sheet pan of this stuff and calls it his breakfast bars.
13 by 9 sheet pan.
That's the same thing as a stuffed donut. Now, I'm not saying these things you make aren't delicious.
Right. They are amazing. Yes, you can't deny that. Are they breakfast? But they work great for breakfast.
Yeah, but on Christmas morning, that feeling you get is like, man, I could really go for some dairy-filled something carby, you know?
I mean, in my defense, the recipe says breakfast on the top. It's their fault. If they wanted me to eat it for dessert after dinner, they should have put dessert on it.
No, think of the repercussions when you put out a recipe like that.
Think about what people are gonna do.
Make one tub of lard in a pan. Drink. Oh no!
Oh gosh, that just makes me think about like with recipes and how people aren't always the brightest. And some people just don't know, but I was looking for like a good chicken pot pie recipe online. And I made it. It was really good. It was very simple. I usually look for like good but simple recipes because I don't have like 16 hours to cook. But I found this good recipe, and I made it. It was great. And I was like looking at the reviews. Someone put a 1-star review. They're like, because one of the parts of the recipe is like cut like a chicken breast into chunks. But it doesn't say that you need to cook it before you put it in the chicken pot pie. But like, I understand basic cooking knowledge. So I'm like, oh, you got to cook this before you put it in the pot pie. So these people left a 1-star review to like, how are we supposed to know you're supposed to cook chicken before you put it in something? So they just threw the raw chicken in the chicken pot pie. And then
did they get salmonella?
I don't know if they did or not.
They're probably fine.
They're probably fine.
Have to technically.
Well, I'm assuming that they probably. I'm sure they didn't eat all of it because if you eat a bite of a raw chicken, I would probably spit it out. It probably doesn't taste good.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the cooking thing, but
that's true. It depends on how cooked it is and stuff like that. But
well,
anyhow, it was funny to me. It made me laugh. I was like, all right, well, we can disregard that review. It's like that sounds like a personal issue. But
is that a probable cause to arrest whoever came up with the recipe? Hey, you didn't tell me to cook this.
If we could arrest people for not using common sense, the jails would be full.
Yeah,
they would be nowhere. True. Everyone would be there.
Coffers would be full.
Yeah, there would be nowhere else. But yeah.
Police department would be more well funded.
Yeah, but back to Farmer Envoy Extreme's comment. That is definitely an option if that is a roast that is available by the company that roasts the coffee for me. Because they have like a set of like 40 or 50 flavors for me to choose from. And I get to choose the different flavors. And I should... So the first... I went between two companies. One company was I could actually choose the flavor. Like they would roast it custom for me.
Yeah.
And I could choose the hints of whatever I wanted and how they roasted it. The problem with that is, since we're starting out small and we don't want to invest a ton of money in this, to start off at least, it's like I have to pre-order the coffee, obviously, because they're roasting it for my company.
Yeah.
So the benefit of using the other company is I still get a very high quality coffee, but they have just a list of roasts that they do.
Yeah.
So that's the disadvantage. But anyhow,
makes sense.
So yeah, Farmer Envoy Stream, I appreciate your comment. Your comment led to quite a few tangents. So that was appreciated.
We do appreciate it.
Thank you for that.
Let the ideas roll.
Let the ideas roll.
Brian Oxendine says thank you and gave us $5 in super thanks. Thank you so much, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. That. I appreciate your support. You dropped was it a $3? It was a $3 super sticker in my last live stream chat as well. So thank you. And he said he did that. It was yesterday he did that on my live stream, and he said it was his birthday yesterday. So happy birthday, Brian!
Happy birthday, Brian.
Here's Brian giving me gifts on his birthday.
Yeah, there you go. And we just gave him a recipe of something good to eat in the morning.
Yeah, Brian, you just send me a message. I'll send you over that cream cheese breakfast bar
there you go.
there.
We'll put it in the show notes for you.
Yeah. Why is it with? I have a question for you.
For me? For T?
For T. T, I have a question for you. This is for just the discussion here. Why is it that with no other meals you can get away with this? Every meal has like a specific what you can do with it as far as like there's like, and you'll understand what, like right now you're looking at me like I have no idea what you're talking about, and that's fair, but we'll get there. Like, why is it with breakfast that you can get away with some of the most sugary sweet things in the world? And then like, that's just like okay to eat. Like if you had kids, you'd be like, yeah, it's okay for you to eat your pancakes with syrup smothered in syrup. That's fine.
Oh yeah,
like that's okay.
There's everything.
there's everything at breakfast. And like, it's like, yeah, you're having a fried thing of dough, which is what a pancake is, smothered in sugar. Where did this come from? Waffles? Same thing. Waffles, same thing. Or people are like, oh, I don't like syrup on it. I just want to put 18 pounds of butter on it.
Yeah.
Like, those are the two main things. And then my cream cheese breakfast bars, donuts, pastries, muffins. These are all quote unquote breakfast things that people eat. So, and then like, even if you think about like cereal in general, not all cereal.
It's true.
Like, a lot of kid cereals are tons of sugar. Like, there's so much. I think America eats half their sugar for breakfast.
Well, it's because we are the richest nation. And I think, this is my personal theory, is when you wake up in the morning and you're groggy and you just spent the other day, you know, being the richest person in America or on the planet, it's like, that's hard work. And you just went to sleep for 8 hours like a lazy bum. Now you need to get an energy boost. Literally, the most energizing things you can eat are fat and sugar. Carbs are a form of sugar.
And that explains the bacon.
It's literally just a jumpstart. That's why we drink coffee in the morning, too. It's just, It's bitter, dark. Literally, if anybody said, hey, drink this dark, mysterious fluid, when typically you're supposed to drink pure filtered water, like, what is this? This is literally poison. Like, is this...
It's just dirt water.
It's just dirt water. It's just dirt water. But it's because it's laced with caffeine.
Yep.
It's like, objectively, coffee... It's... I think an acquired taste is just what we say when something doesn't taste good.
Yeah.
But it's addictive.
Yeah.
So it's like I've acquired the ability to be dependent on this thing.
That is true. We have done that. Well, I mean, look at energy drinks.
Exactly.
Those things sell off the shelf like crazy. They're mixing the caffeine from coffee and the sugary breakfast into one beverage.
Yeah.
Now you can get a sugar high on the go.
That's 2 boosts of energy right there.
Yeah.
Now you can have a caffeine crash.
And the caffeine holds it through the sugar crash. Hopefully.
To my shame, I've had Red Bulls straight first thing in the morning.
I also did my at that.
But it's like, you wake up groggy and it's like, I need to get going. Like, the day has begun and I'm already catching up.
Yep.
And you have to get going.
I had, the last time I worked, so this last time I was on Graveyard, I only worked a month on Graveyard. It still was, it was mostly miserable because I kept switching back to a normal schedule to do things. Because I had 2, like, little vacations, I say, where I was off for a couple days.
Yeah.
It's like my body just didn't know what to do because I kept switching schedules. I switched schedules like 3 times in a month, which was a lot for me. My body does not like to switch schedules, but normally it's not that bad when I'm on Graveyard for like 4 months, because like after a month I get used to it, and then by the end of it I have to get used to the next thing. But anyhow, so like last time I was on like a full Graveyard rotation. This is where I'm going with this. I would get at work. I'd start work at 9. I would go to this grocery store that we had in town, and I would grab an energy drink. I'm like, oh, you know what? I just want an energy drink.
I go for an energy drink.
Yeah, I want an energy drink.
Yeah.
So, and I wasn't drinking as much coffee. I'm still drinking coffee. Don't get me wrong. But I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm on Graveyard. I can use an energy drink. So I drink an energy drink. And then I would do that like twice a week on the days I felt like I needed the extra boost. Then the next week, I was like, you know what? I just drank one every day. And then the third week, I'm like, you know what? Why am I going to the store 4 times? Let me just go there, pick up the 4 energy drinks for the week, and put them in the fridge. And I pick up the 4 energy drinks for the fridge, and all of a sudden I'm drinking. I'm like, oh, it's halfway through the shift. I'm like, you know, a second energy drink would help me. And this is how it all starts. And then I drank 2, so I still had to go to the grocery store twice a week to buy 4 each time. And then by the end of Graveyard rotation, I was drinking 3 to 4 energy drinks a night.
Oh my gosh!
And then before the end of the rotation, like, I have to stop this. This is gonna kill me.
Oh my goodness!
So that was really bad.
That's like what, 600 milligrams of caffeine.
Well, the ones I drank weren't that high in caffeine. They're only 100 milligrams a can. The sugar content and the chemical content was still high.
Yeah, like you've got what's the vitamin or whatever the chemical is that's supposed to give you energy as well?
The vitamin B.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think it's B12.
But you're talking about like a chemical, something that's...
Oh, taurine.
Like kind of scary. Taurine? Yeah.
I don't know if it's scary.
Is that the like tingly face thing that you drink when you have pre-workout?
I don't know. I've never consumed pre-workout, but...
Oh, let me tell you, man.
Game changer.
Game changer. I've never had a 5-hour energy. That's like
I've
where
never
I've
had one
gone.
either.
Those things scare me. I'm just like, what kind of caffeine bomb is this? That it's just like a tiny little shot thing. It's
A
like
little shot glass of energy.
that terrifies me. I literally think like, man, if I drank that, I'd have heart murmurs for the rest of my life. Like I'd be like done
I
for.
feel like that's a one-way ticket to the ER.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh
It's
god.
like how desperate do you have to be to have a 5-hour energy? They're still around too. I've never seen anybody buy one.
It's like you got the same package they ordered back in 1954, sitting on the shelf of every convenience store that no one's ever bought.
It's just aging with more caffeine. Just like
They ferment.
Yeah.
Caffeine ferments. Oh gosh,
oh.
that's too funny.
Anyway, that's my explanation.
But yeah, so
I think it's true.
that's the comments from the viewers so far this week. We'll
Well
get
done,
some more
everybody.
from you. Yeah, so thank you guys for that. Yeah, farm sim stuff. So obviously we don't have a lot to talk about here. There's still a lot of maps that are supposed to be coming out. We got 4 maps yesterday.
This was a week ago for you guys.
Yes, a week ago for you guys. So yesterday, by yesterday I mean the 11th. You guys were like, okay, like,
Yep.
so not yesterday when this comes out. But yeah, the big deal for the ones that came out, I think a lot of you are gonna like the FS09 Island, which is it's the base game map from Farming Simulator 2009, but
That's
modded
old.
to be in Farm Sim 22.
Wow.
So I think for people that have played the game since then, I think it's gonna have that nostalgia effect where they're playing with all the new stuff on the old map, which I think is pretty cool.
That makes sense. Nostalgia kicks in about 15 years.
Does it? Is that about?
Yeah, I think I'm nostalgic for 2009.
I don't remember 2009 at all.
If it came out in 2009, that's nostalgic.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If I could name a video game that you played or something.
That would
I'd be
be
like, oh,
okay.
yeah, there's nostalgia. Okay.
Like maybe like Age of Empires, the original.
I think it was like 2000.
That was probably before that.
2019 or something.
Maybe Age of
1990.
Empires 2.
Yeah,
Age
that
of
was like
Empires 2 is probably
2000. Age of Empires
When-
1's
when
like
did Age of
19 something, 1990 something. I'm nostalgic for things that I shouldn't be. It's because all my siblings are older than me.
Oh my gosh. The original Age of Empires came out in 97.
Wow, I was 2 years old.
I was recently born at that point. Age of Empires
I was not yet two years old.
1999 for the second one?
Oh,
That was one of the first games I played.
It's still one of the most popular RTS games out there.
It's very popular.
I love
And the
that
third
it's-
one came out 2005?
Yeah, wow.
You gotta be kidding me. I remember when I was probably like 12 playing Age of Empires 2. I never played Age of Empires 1 now that I'm thinking back. But Age of Empires 2, I have so many hours in that game.
Yeah.
And I remember they have a map editor in that one.
It's like a national treasure, man.
Yeah.
Everybody loves it.
Yeah.
Everybody still loves it.
It's great.
It keeps getting remakes and remasters.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, this is the best.
I own it on
RTS
Steam.
ever.
I know the new one on I own the remastered one on Steam.
I need to buy it.
It's great.
I need that again.
And then I remember that probably in like I don't know 2012. I was like there's an Age of Empires 3. It must have just come out. And I found it, like I discovered it, and then I bought it because I was excited about it. And I bought it on like a 3-disc package.
Yeah.
You ever in games where
Yeah.
like oh, another game I used to play that my stepdad actually gave to me to play was Baldur's Gate. You ever played Baldur's Gate?
Didn't Baldur's Gate 3 just come out?
It looks like it.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate.
Everybody loves it. I played Baldur's Gate.
Okay, that's the
like-
new one probably.
Yeah, that was 2020 that it came out. I played the action RPG version of it
Okay.
for consoles. It was like Baldur's Gate something Alliance, Dark Alliance or something. But I never played this one.
Yeah, the original one came out in '98, and I loved it. But it was in, I have it somewhere still. It was in like a big old fold-up thing,
Uh-huh.
and it had 6 discs.
Wow.
And sometimes, like when you were there's a big map, and sometimes when you travel to a new like zone on the map, it needed a new disc.
yeah.
So you had to switch the
You gotta
disc
load
out.
it. Mhm.
Yeah, it's got to load that in. But I remember that after you got used to playing the game enough, you'd be like, I need to sell all this stuff, and this place is closer to my closer to my party that's traveling, but I know that's a different disc, so I'd travel farther, so I didn't have to put a new disc in, because I knew which towns were on each disc. So I was like, I've been playing this game too much. I've got it. I've got all the discs memorized.
6 discs.
Yeah,
That's
it was crazy. But that.
I remember
Wow.
that even with console games. There's like 2-disc games.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy the storage capacities of things back then compared to now.
I know, right?
But
everything's almost 100 gigs now.
I remember I was playing when I first started playing like computer games on this big monitor that's like 1.5 feet.
Oh, the RTS.
Yeah, like the old. Yeah. I don't know what they're called.
It's an RTS monitor.
RTS monitor. What does RTS stand for? Robert, Tom, Sam.
I could explain the technology to you, but I don't know what it stands for. So, an RTS is just like electron guns that shoot electrons at nodes.
It says RTS is real-time strategy.
Oh, what did I say?
Are you talking about the game?
CRT?
Maybe that's what you're talking about, CRT?
CRT TV?
Yeah,
cathode ray tube.
Yeah,
that's right.
You were thinking about the game still.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
cathode ray tube. So it's
Oh, that's my phone. Sorry, everyone. I'm gonna put it on mute now.
You're getting text messages?
No, it was an email.
You're getting emails during the podcast, Farmer?
No one would ever
I
text
guess somebody
me.
could identify the exact make and model of your phone just from that.
Oh no, you can. There's so many phones that make that noise. But if you guys want to know, I have a Samsung S something or other. I don't know what it is.
One of those generic phones.
I don't know. It works.
Yeah, CRT TVs. They're actually really desired because something about 1080p, the pixels like ruins the visuals of games now that are super old because they were designed with CRT
Interesting.
displays in mind.
So I'm assuming that's why you'd want like a remastered version of a game because they probably fix that for 1080p.
Yeah. But if you're playing the old version, CRT, that's the way to go.
Huh. That makes sense. And those things would never quit. Those things will last forever. I mean, that monitor's never. That thing starting up was just. I remember the screen would just like start like flashing on, trying to get everything
slowly warm up and brighten up.
Yeah.
We had an old CRTV. Our family TV was, I think, 20 inches. A 20-inch TV.
20-inch
that was
TV.
the big TV.
Well, and that is a 32.
Yeah, you've got a studio TV right there. It's a 32-incher. It's like, that's tiny nowadays. But our 20-incher, oh man, we watched the Lord of the Rings extended edition on that thing.
Oh wow!
Like that was the big event.
Was it in black and white or color?
No, it was a color one.
Oh, it was a color one. Okay.
Yeah, it was a more recent one.
Okay.
I once accidentally pulled that thing off of its shelf and it landed face down on the glass on the floor from like a 3-foot drop.
It was fine.
It was fine. It's completely fine.
Yep. Oh gosh.
Don't make them how we used to.
Yep, the things were built better back then, that's for sure. That's why you got farmers that are still using tractors from like the 1930s and 40s and 50s because they still run.
They just don't quit.
They just don't quit. And if something does break, it's easy to fix.
Yeah.
Like they're super simple machines.
The of complexity that makes it so hard to do stuff.
Yeah. Oh, but anyhow, well, that was nice. A little trip down memory lane there. So like that. But yeah, new maps coming out soon. So one of the maps that came out, we were talking about that map. And that's how we went down that route.
Yeah, the old nostalgia one.
The old nostalgia one. But the Dark Forest and the next chapter by the Shanty Boys, which are good friends of the channel, they give me all their maps, or typically they give me most of their maps to do like early access looks at and stuff like that. Ooh. So yeah, they're great. They become honestly really good friends of the channel. Matt, Mr. T-Bone, and all the Shanty Boys, and Silver Eagle, and all those guys are great. So yeah, thank you guys. For sending me that one over a while ago. I know you guys, it's a big accomplishment to get a map out on the Mod Hub, so congratulations on that, guys. You guys did great. As always, we'll announce FarmCon until it happens. We don't know anything as of right now. We might know by the time this comes out, but right now we still know FarmCon is just between the 21st and 24th of July. We don't know where it's going to be at. And then the new DLC is coming at some point, and then do we have any noteworthy mods that came out?
In one day? I don't know.
I don't know. They released a lot.
Really? They do it every day?
Yeah, they release a ton of mods every day. They've since we've last recorded, they probably released like 80 or 90 mods.
Oh my goodness.
Which is ridiculous, but
it's just gonna increase.
Yeah, I don't see anything like super crazy. No, nothing super crazy. So yeah. Anyhow, and then this I haven't announced yet to a lot of people, but I'll not start mentioning it on here. On June 7th, which I know is going to be darn near a month away. June 7th, which is a Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken.
Tuesday?
Yep, Tuesday. I will be featured with Giant Software in the Community Spotlight. So they're going to do a live stream where they ask me questions and stuff like that, and that'll be on, I believe, Giant Software YouTube and their Twitch channel.
That's
so
awesome.
I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Wow.
So
congratulations.
So I'm pumped about that. Yeah, they reached out to me to want to do that with me, which I was super excited about. So yeah, that'll be exciting. That'll be on June 7th. So make sure you guys save the date. Make sure you guys take the day off of work.
Yeah. It's gonna be a whole event.
It's gonna be a whole
like
event.
the Super Bowl. But
It's like the Super Bowl of the farming sim world. Oh gosh. But yeah, there's that. And then I also wanted to mention quickly here. A lot of you guys were probably subscribed to Gamer Cop, which is my other channel, but I just started posting content on there again, and we're live streaming this Friday, which it'll be past then by the time you guys get this message. So,
what are you playing?
We're playing Minecraft from the stream.
Wow.
And then we're also playing Ship Graveyard Simulator, which is the other game we play on there.
Oh, I've seen that game.
Yeah,
it looks fun.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I think it's like one where like you probably play it for 6 to 8 hours, and you probably accomplish what you want to accomplish.
I get the idea.
Yeah, like I got it.
Yeah.
But so I play it on there. It's still fun though. I still like it. But yeah, so that's what I got. Yeah, those are all my announcements for the week.
That's amazing. Lots of stuff happening. Wow.
Yeah.
You haven't posted anything in Gamer Cop for a little bit, so.
It was 71 days since my last video when I posted.
Days.
Yeah,
It's dry season.
Yep, this is true.
I mean, you did just move and you did just have a schedule change. So.
Yep, this is true.
There you go.
But no excuses.
Yeah. Just 72 days of excuses.
Just 72 days of excuses. But now they're back. But yeah, we want to do.
Let's do crime of the week.
No, you should tell your story.
My story?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have a crime-related story.
And farming related.
And farming related.
The most applicable story to the podcast there ever
This is
could be.
actually civilian justice, which is probably some of my favorite justice.
Yep.
So back in the day when the marijuana was not legal in Washington State, people who wanted to partake in marijuana had to do bad things in order to do it. They had to be breaking the law, which means they had to be secretive and do things that they shouldn't. And a lot of that involved secret groves planted around farms, specifically cornfields, because they were tall enough to hide the plants. And a lot of the things that marijuana farmers would do is they would go out and they would plant their plants in cornfields. I don't know what time of year it would be, but they would essentially grow with the corn and be hidden. Huh. And these marijuana growers would have GPS coordinates of all of their plants, so they could kind of scatter them so that it would never be detected by any farmers who just wandered out there. It's like, oh my gosh, there's like half an acre of marijuana here. It's like, no, they have individual plants.
They did it in other people's fields.
In other farmers' fields.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They would go out and plant them at night and do all their stuff at night.
Oops.
But for some reason, one of these marijuana farmers, we weren't in cahoots with them. I'm describing this because it was a typical thing. One of these marijuana farmers happened to have planted marijuana in our neighbor's cornfield. And I think it was my uncle. He was driving around just kind of doing the rounds.
Not that it planted it. Your uncle
No, my uncle was not the marijuana farmer. He was the farmer. But I think he noticed like some rustling in the cornfield. He may have seen like a pickup truck that he didn't recognize as well. I don't know if that was indicative of anything, but typically even around that time there was also like deer or turkey or wild animals that were getting into the crops and eating it. So a typical thing for farmers to do would be to pull out their shotgun and just fire a couple rounds into the air to scare the deer away. Yeah. And so my uncle got the shotgun out the back of his pickup, and he fired a couple rounds into the sky. And he hears guys like, ah! And then the shuffling rummages super fast out to the outskirts of the cornfield, and they hop in a pickup truck and drive away. And he's like, And so he calls our farming neighbor and says, hey, we think there's some guys out there in your field, and he gives off the field ID to him because they have it memorized. And it's like, oh really? And he's like, yeah. He's like, did you call the police? I was like, well, I didn't realize. I thought it was just some deer, so I shot the shotgun. He's like, it's like, no, just in the air. They scant. They ran away. And I think at that point, after that, they called the county sheriff and they went into the field, and I think they actually found some of the plants.
Some of the plants. That makes sense.
I guess they didn't have any more really, but they dug them up, took them away as evidence, or I don't know, whatever you do with it. Just confiscated them.
Yeah.
They didn't leave them there. So like, oh, there's some marijuana plants. Oh, well, imagine that. Confiscated it, took it away. I think probably at some point during the night, the marijuana growers came back and looked for their plants. Did not find them. And this is where the story gets kind of sad. They actually torched the field.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They were that
because they were angry about the marijuana.
Wow.
But yeah, that's just kind of some of the stuff
that's wild.
we had to deal with as farmers. Like,
that's wild. And they lost the whole crop out of that field because of that.
Yeah. I don't think they lost the entire crop. I think
that's part of it.
Did they like? I think somebody called. I think somebody called
them
them when an entire field was on fire in the middle of the night. It's like, hey, your crops are burning, and they were able to save maybe a little bit of it. But
okay. Well, I'm assuming they had probably more than one field. Hopefully.
Yeah. Oh yeah. One field was kind of a. It would have been nice if they had not lost it. It was definitely a shortcoming for the year, but I think farmers typically prepare for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, just in case it happens.
Not like
just
marijuana growers torching your
field. That's what they're prepared for that, but just lost in general. That's a good story. That's funny. That's interesting.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Go.
That's
civil
crazy
justice.
Yep.
So that's stuff that happens on private land that you don't hear about.
Yep, that's hilarious. Well, I think it's a good point for us to do the crime of the week. We didn't do one last week, so this week we did theft. So, or this week we're going to do theft. We didn't do one last week. So, RCW 9856010 is a bunch of definitions in here. We're not going to read everything. But where is? Do they have like a? I don't think they even have.
There's a lot of definitions here. There's so many subsections and.
Yeah.
Like, what is theft?
It's not.
Could you even sum it up?
Yeah. Theft definition right here. Theft means to. Now this is not where. So they'll have different laws. Like this one says theft, then dash definition, and then also has a defense to theft.
A defense.
Allegedly.
Like a defense for people to thieve.
Yeah. Like here's a defense to stealing.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense.
I don't.
But anyhow, so they usually have like a definition, and then they'll go into like actual where it's a crime. This doesn't specify that it's a crime. It just says here's what it is, and then they have other RCWs that say here it's illegal.
Oh, so this is not indicative of the crime. This is just defining the word.
This is defining the word or what it means in terms of the law.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Gotcha.
So it says theft means to wrongfully obtain or exert unauthorized control over the property or services of another or the value thereof, with intent to deprive. So there's the big one. So for
intent.
That's the mental state here is the intent.
I have intent
to deprive him or her of such property or services, or by color or aid of deception to obtain control over the property or services of another or the value thereof. So that's like,
what does color mean?
Like under the color of, like the most common example would be like under the color of law.
The color of law.
So like if I was to be like, hey, give me your donut because I'm a police officer and they gave it to me, that would be under the color of law. Like I can't use my authority to obtain things that aren't mine. If that makes sense. It's just like a very specific.
It's like.
It's just what they call it under the color of authority or the color of law.
By color or aid of deception.
Yep.
Interesting.
And it's defined if we went back to 010.
We define color.
By color aid of deception means that the deception operated to bring about the obtaining of the property or services. It is not necessary that deception be the sole means of obtaining the property.
Oh, so you exercising your authority to have somebody give you a donut is still considered theft by that phrase.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. I gotcha.
Even if they willingly gave it to me, but I used my authority to try to obtain something or try to persuade them to give it to me, that would still be theft, is what that's saying. But yeah, which is a good thing. It should be. Then subsection C, to appropriate lost or misdelivered property or services of another, or the value thereof, with intent to deprive him or her of such property or services.
Intent to deprive.
Yeah, intent to deprive. So you have to have the intent to deprive. So that's like if someone finds someone's credit card on the street and they pick it up, and then they turn it in the next day to the police department, they never had the intent to deprive the person of it.
Yeah.
So they're not guilty of theft.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'd be like, oh, you stole it. But, yeah. In any prosecution for theft, it shall be sufficient defense that the property or service was appropriated openly and avowedly under a claim. It's spelled Avowedly. I've never heard that word. Under a claim of title made in good faith, even though the claim be untenable.
There's a lot of big words here.
This is the lawyer section. I don't know. This one.
Oh, the lawyers.
This is where I'm like, in the prosecution of them, like, well, I don't prosecute theft, so I don't read any further.
Interesting.
The property merchant pallets were received by a pallet recycler or repair in the ordinary course of business. Now that's
The property was
merchant. That's talking about just pallets. Like,
just pallets?
Like wood
There's an
pallets.
entire section for pallets?
yep, there's an entire like subsection of theft 3, which is the lowest level of theft here, or not. There we go. Let's go theft third first. There's an entire subsection of merchandise pallets in here.
What?
So, theft in the 3rd degree is the lowest level of theft.
Yeah, so level 3, so you're third place.
Third
thief.
place theft. You're a third-rate thief. You're not a second or first-rate thief. You're not very good if you're only third level thieving. But anyhow, oh geez. All right, there we go. Person is guilty of theft in the 3rd degree if he or she commits theft of property or services, which A, does not exceed $750 in value. So
Does not exceed. Oh, okay. Yeah, the
so
dollar
the amount
value.
that there's like a dollar value magical spectrum. So like from 0 to 750 is theft 3. From 700 and then from over 750 to under 5,000 is theft 2, and then over 5,000 is theft 1. Except for there's other subsections that specify certain things go to different categories. And then there's other things like theft of a firearm and theft of a motor vehicle. It doesn't matter how much the car or the firearm's worth, it's automatically it's a felony.
It's automatically felony,
Yeah.
which is
Makes sense.
first rate theft.
No.
No.
They're their own crimes.
Oh, felony is.
Those are their own felonies. So
Okay,
there's
I
theft.
gotcha.
So if we go actually just to take a look at this. Here's the different level. Here's the different crimes under the theft and robbery section. We won't get into robbery today because robbery is its own different thing.
Wow.
But there's theft first, theft second, theft third, unlawful issuance of checks or drafts, making or possession of motor vehicle theft tools, theft of a motor vehicle, possession of a stolen vehicle, taking a motor vehicle without permission, 1st degree, taking a motor vehicle without permission, 2nd degree, which is different than stealing it. Theft of livestock in the 1st degree, theft of livestock in the 2nd degree. We should cover those today for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, what in the world?
Theft of rental, lease purchased, or loaned property. Then there's extortion, which is its own prime. We won't go on extortion. Possessing stolen property, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd degree. The reason it's different levels is the value of it.
Oh, okay.
So if you have $1,000 worth of stuff in your possession, and we can't prove that you stole it, we can charge you with possession of stolen property.
Possession of stolen.
Because a lot of times we actually don't get a charge theft because we can't. It's hard to prove you stole something, even though we know that this person reported it stolen and you now have it. So any reasonable person would draw the line that you stole it, but we can't. It's hard to prove that, but it's easy to prove that you had it when we found it.
Yeah.
That's easy to prove, and it's the same level of crime. So a lot of times that's what people get charged with.
Okay.
And then shopping cart theft. There's its own theft for shopping cart. Theft of a firearm, possessing a stolen firearm, possession of another's identification, financial fraud, theft with intent to resell, organized retail theft with special circumstances. These are all separate crimes. Mail theft,
Special circumstance.
possession of stolen mail, and there's some weird ones in here. So after we get through the theft 1 through 3, I'll show you guys my favorite thefts. And there's some just funny ones. It's like, why did we make this a law? But yeah, so there's the value amount, and then theft will add subsections like, or includes 10 or more merchandise pallets or 10 or more beverage crates, or a combination of 10 or more merchandise pallets
Wait,
and beverage crates.
do the pallets have to have merchandise on them?
No, these are just pallets. Yeah.
They're just crappy pallets.
Yeah, crappy pallets. So if you steal 10 or more, now the reason for this, the only reason I can think this is in here, if you steal 9 of them, and someone says, hey, these 9 have some value to me, you can still get charged with theft 3.
What?
Because it still has a value. So it still fits under the first subsection.
Will that hold up in court?
Absolutely. Yeah. Because I can't steal 9 pallets, but we only stole 9.
Oh!
It's like our quota for the day. It's like a hunting license for pallets. It's like, our hunting license allows 9 pallets.
I poached these pallets.
Do you have your pallet tag?
No! 3rd degree theft. Hang on.
Hang on.
I am a pallet poacher. Thank you very much.
But I think the reason it's there, because it says 10 or more. So what it says, what if someone steals a ridiculous amount, like 100
like
pallets?
100,000.
And someone says, these pallets, well, here's like an example. There's a building supply store in town here, and they have like these really special built pallets that are for like they're like stones and bricks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they charge you $25 if you buy the whole pallet for that pallet. And then when you bring it back, you get a $25 credit back because that company, when they deliver them, they want their pallets back.
Yeah.
So if you stole 50 of those, that's $1,250 worth of pallets, right? So they're saying here, if you steal 50 of those pallets, you can't get charged with a felony theft. You have to get charged with a misdemeanor, no matter how many pallets you steal.
Interesting.
So I think that's why it's there, is my reason. I don't know why they have 10 or more. Why don't you just say if you steal merchandise pallets? Because it would fall into the first subsection anyways.
Yeah.
But that's just Washington lawmakers not making any sense. But yeah.
Maybe you can't prove intent without it
the
being...
10th one?
Yeah. I accidentally have these 9.
But the 10th one...
That's on purpose.
That's on purpose.
We know that's on purpose.
You had to do it. No one accidentally steals 10. They only accidentally steal 9. Whoops.
Maybe that's how much a man can lift.
9 or 10
Yeah.
pallets.
The strongest man can only lift 9 pallets accidentally.
Accident.
If he goes back for the 10th, you know there's intent.
I would love to... Well, we should do, because they have like all these notes at the bottom. I won't do this on the stream, but do you see all these notes?
Oh my gosh! Is this like evidence from previous crimes where they had to...
This is like...
This is all just
This is all different crimes, but
This is
they'll
all
have,
just
like...
3rd degree.
Well, this is 2nd degree. That's murder.
Oh, they
there.
have more. Oh, okay.
There's more crimes in here, but if you read through this, well, there's then there's this one here, and this one here.
1998, 2009.
But there's all these different documents that will, if you go through them, you can find theft in there, and you can find like some of the like they'll have what's called legislative intent. So you can find a document that the legislators wrote out a long thing about their intent with the law. So I'd have to find that, read through all that, find out why. They had to explain why this is in there.
Pallets are a highlight right now.
Yeah. Oh, and I got a bunch of them in my house. So if you steal 10 or more of my pallets,
Well,
outside,
maybe it's just because people like you and me is like, man, pallets.
Yep.
They're a source of wood.
Yep.
It's free, typically, if you
Typically,
ask.
yeah. You have to ask.
But maybe people assume that pallets are garbage.
A lot of
And
people
you've just
do.
got like entrepreneurial kind of guys that want to build their own stuff, like going around taking pallets. Like, stop taking the pallets.
Stop taking these stupid
We
pallets.
use those things.
We use
They're not a one and done thing.
they're not disposable.
So it's probably the intent of just like, listen, we have to charge these people with something.
Yeah.
So they stop taking pallets.
Well, that's probably true because when I
It's
worked
probably
at
well-intentioned people. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I just want to build something with pallets.
Yeah.
It's like, assume they're garbage.
Yep, that's probably exactly what it is. I mean, when I worked at a tire shop, every time the truck would come, they'd want our old pallets. They're like, yeah, load up the pallets. We'll take them back to the warehouse.
Yeah.
They'll reload them with more stuff and bring them back out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A valuable resource that nobody assumes
Exactly.
is valuable.
Yep.
Except to them.
Yep, exactly.
It's only valuable to me. Nobody else wants this.
Nobody else wants these.
That's interesting. Maybe
Yep.
it's, yeah.
yeah,
It's a weird kind of commodity where everybody assumes that only they're the one that can make use of it.
Uh-huh. Well, now we move on to theft 2nd degree.
Yeah, that's interesting, T. Keep going.
Well, I just want. We have 12 minutes to cover.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, you're right. Let's hurry this along.
Just because we get so distracted talking about stupid stuff like that. I love it. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. But we at least we'll probably have to cover more theft next week.
We're going to devote an entire episode to State v. Tiny Tim.
I almost forgot about that. We will. We'll do all the legal research. We'll have to bring in.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get a guest prosecutor in here.
Maybe we could get our
Do a mock courtroom.
a prosecutor and Tiny Tim.
I'm Tiny Tim.
What do you have to say for your...
No one in the audience knows what we're talking about.
Don't
but
worry,
we will enlighten
This is
you
probably
later.
what spawned on the idea for the podcast.
This is probably true because this was the thing where we fed off of each other probably for over an hour.
Yeah. It's gonna be good. Well,
It's gonna be good.
we'll
Yeah,
make
don't
it a
you
good
worry.
episode.
It'll be a good episode. It'll be like a special. But anyhow, so theft 2nd, property services exceeding 750, but not 5,000. So that's that range. Other than a firearm or a motor vehicle, it says, because those are different laws. And then here we get some specialty things where the value doesn't matter if you steal these.
Okay.
If you steal a public record, writing, or instrument kept, filed, or deposited according to law, or in the keeping of any public office or public servant. So if you steal something that like should be filed with the courts or something like that, that's not yours to take,
Yeah.
that's a felony, which is a good thing. Then we have subsection C. So A was the dollar amount, B was the public record. C is commercial metal property,
Commercial.
non-ferrous metal property, or private metal property, as those terms are defined in 19291 or 010. What is
Metal property.
commercial metal property means utility access covers, street light poles and fixtures, road and bridge guardrails, highway or street signs, water meter covers, traffic directional or control signs. Interesting. I didn't know this one. I did not know this.
Traffic directional and control signs? What would that be?
That'd be like a stop sign.
Oh, really?
It's a felony to steal a stop sign, is what this is saying.
You didn't know that?
Nope.
You
I've always charged miss. I mean, I'd probably still charge a misdemeanor.
Yeah,
It's like, are you a felon?
You!
Some
felon?
stupid, some drunk guy from a bar stole a stop sign. It's like, oh, you're a felon.
It takes a lot of effort.
I mean, that's fair. Traffic light signals. That one I'd probably charge a felon. If you get up onto the light pole to take the traffic light off, you'd probably deserve a felony.
Take a lot of effort.
Yeah. Traffic light signals. Any metal property marked with the name of a commercial enterprise. So a dumpster. If you stole a dumpster, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
That's a metal piece of property.
What if it's an unmarked dumpster?
Well, then you're good. You can steal unmarked ones and it'd be good.
We got an unmarked dumpster in the back of a pickup. You can't do anything.
Oh my gosh, look at this. Including but not limited to a telephone, commercial mobile radio services, cable, electric, water, natural gas, or other utility or railroad, unused or undamaged building construction materials consisting of copper pipe, tubing, or so if you steal any amount of copper pipe, tubing, or wiring from a construction site, felony.
No, undamaged.
Undamaged, sorry.
Undamaged.
Right.
If you steal the pristine stuff, it's a crime. If you steal the garbage,
yep,
then that's probably still something you should do.
It reminds me, there was a guy that it was
Is
not
it legal to dumpster dive?
No.
No?
Nope.
You can just rummage through people's trash and it's fine?
Yep.
Oh.
But here's the kicker. If they don't want you on their property, then you have to leave. If their dumpster's on their private property, their garbage can's on their private property. If it's on the street, there's not really much you can do.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. Don't throw out stuff you don't want people to look at. I don't know. I don't know what you're but yeah, I don't know. This is weird. But yeah, it's not illegal to dumpster dive. I know there's a lot of actually like case law about police officers like being able to identify suspects by like staking out their garbage and getting in their garbage after they put it on the street. Because the once it's on the street, it's on public property and it's open gas.
You don't need a warrant.
You don't need a warrant to look through someone's trash. Wow. So I've never done it because I don't care that much. But I've actually just never had a case that I would definitely do that if it was like an important case. But I never had a case that it would matter that much. But yeah, once it's discarded, it's free game.
Yeah. That belongs to.
I mean, I pulled.
Is
like,
the garbage like public?
It doesn't
property.
It doesn't belong to anyone. But the courts have ruled that there's nothing wrong with police seizing something that you've thrown away or discarded, because you've stated you have no interest in that item anymore, so you don't have a Fourth Amendment protection under it anymore.
Interesting.
There's no Fourth Amendment protection on your trash if it's off your property.
Okay.
If it's on your property, the police can't be going up there searching through it. But if it's off your property on like the curb or on a public sidewalk, that's good game. Fair game.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, there's some case law for you guys today.
Can you imagine your neighbor doing that?
Yeah,
it's like completely legal. You can't do anything.
It's like, yeah, but why?
What's in your trash?
Yeah. What are you doing?
Please stop.
Please stop.
You can't make me.
I'd probably just go down there and pull my thing back up onto my driveway. Yeah, it's like, you just stop touching my stuff.
Yeah,
weirdo. Yeah. But nope, that's totally good as far as all that goes after you've thrown it out. I mean, I've pulled stuff out of garbage cans on the street when I've had people like that I've seen, and then when they've seen me, they'll ditch drugs or contraband in a trash can. I'll dig through that trash can and get that contraband back.
Yeah.
I'll grab them, put them in handcuffs, sit them down next to the trash can while I dig through it.
Hold on while I look.
Hold on while I look for your contraband. But anyhow. But yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know this. And there's a few other things in here too, but
there you go.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to bring that law up with my coworkers because I didn't know that was not that I'm gonna start charging felonies for it, but and then D, subsection D is an access device, which you might say, what's an access device? The most common example of an access device is a debit card or credit card.
That's an access device?
That is an access device. So if you steal a credit card, every single credit, so like that's, if we paint a picture here, if someone comes, if like you leave a wallet somewhere,
Yeah.
and someone is like, I'm going to take that wallet, and they have the intent to deprive, they're not grabbing it to bring it back to anyone, they steal that wallet, and you have, let's say, 10 different debit and credit cards in there.
Oh, really?
It doesn't matter what amount's on all those, each individual card is a separate felony offense.
Wow.
So they've just committed 10 felony offenses by grabbing that wallet and deciding to keep it.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I
so
love that.
that's
I'm a
10
big
felony
fan of
offenses.
that.
Plus, they're also going to get charged for the value of the rest of the wallet. So if it's like just a regular wallet that's not over $750 in value, and the cash in it isn't over $750 in value, then they'll get charged with theft 3. So you get a misdemeanor and 10 felony charges.
Wow.
Yep. Now the prosecutor probably won't charge all those. They'll probably charge 1 felony if it's their first offense, and then as a plea deal, they'll probably say, hey, instead of taking you to court on these 10 felonies, we'll charge you with 1 felony you can plead guilty to. And a lot of people probably
Can you
take that deal.
imagine being that criminal? Is like these 10. Whoa, 10! I just stole a wallet. It's like
But 1 debit card, 2 debit card, 3 debit card. Just laying them out on a counter, like an interrogation room. You're just like,
Is that a gift card too?
no, gift cards are not.
Oh.
Gift cards have been ruled as it's their cash value.
Okay.
Whatever there's, so if you steal a $1,000 gift card, you're at a felony level. But if it's a $749 gift card, it's only a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
But yeah, so gift cards have been ruled at their value. But yeah, so that's access device. We got just enough time to cover theft 1. Woo! Woo! Let's go. Theft in the first degree, darn it. So a person guilty of if they commit, and then we have the over $5,000 value. That's subsection A. So if it's over $5,000 in value. Here's some interesting ones in here.
Property of
any value other than a firearm is defined or a motor vehicle taken. There we go. Taken from the person of another. So if you, let's say someone comes up to you and you're wearing glasses, just as I am wearing glasses.
Yeah.
If someone comes up to you and they grab your glasses off your face and run away, it's theft 1. Doesn't matter how much your glasses are worth. If you take it from someone's person.
Oh, like on me.
Yeah, if it's on you and you take it from that person, if it's on them, it's theft 1. So if someone comes and pickpockets your wallet, doesn't matter what's in that wallet. Wallet could be empty.
Why
That's
is that
theft 1.
a higher? Is it because it's like tied to a possible assault or something?
I think so. I think it's a higher level because it's like that's a bolder thief if they're taking it directly off of someone.
Yeah. They have
Yeah.
worse intent than most other
Yeah.
thieves.
And this isn't like if someone says, hey, give me your money, and they take it from you that way. That's robbery, which we can talk about different. Most people say, I've been robbed, when they just had something stolen from them. I've been thieveried. They've committed a thieving of me. But yeah, so there's a difference between robbery and theft, which is an interesting distinction, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, then here's one of my favorite ones. Subsection C, a search and rescue dog while they're on duty.
Stealing a search and rescue dog
While it's on duty. If it's off duty, it's not a felony. It's animals are considered per their value in Washington. So if you steal a rescue dog, it's whatever its value is, which is probably still going to be a felony.
Yeah.
Because of all the training and everything
come
goes with
on.
that. But I just love that it's like, if you steal a search and rescue dog while it's on duty. And my favorite part about this law is if you think past this law, someone did that.
Yeah.
They didn't put that in there. There's no way they were sitting in a courtroom and someone's like raising their hand and they're like, we need to put search and rescue dogs on duty in the law. And they're like, oh,
what?
thanks, Jimmy.
Yeah.
We did.
Almost
Thank God you got that one, Jimmy. No, someone obviously did that, and they're like, "Oh, we need to amend the law."
Yeah, exactly. Like
there's
how do we?
There's no way they just came up with that one out of the blue.
Not a chance.
There's not a chance. That's so specific.
Especially with the pallet thing too. Yeah.
Yeah, a search and rescue dog while the search and rescue dog is on duty. So
When
yeah,
you steal a search and rescue dog on duty while it's on 10 pallets.
you get charged. So you wouldn't.
I didn't know there was a search and rescue dog on those 10 pallets.
It's in a crate. How was I supposed to know?
I didn't know he was in that rubble of pallets.
And I didn't know he was working. Well, he's looking for Tiny Tim, and Tiny Tim loves pallets.
Because it doesn't say. Oh no, it's the intent still applies to the first. Yeah.
Yep, intent to deprive still applies. But yeah, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. The laws are very interesting as far as all that goes.
There you go. Wow, there's a lot of theft rules.
Yep.
Probably because people have stolen so many things.
Yeah, and that one's a class B.
I want to find one where a donut theft would probably be a 3rd degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, theft in the 3rd degree. Oh, unless it's on your person. If donut's in your hand,
Yeah, that's
you're about to take a bite, somebody steals it,
Yep.
boom.
felony.
Theft. It's felony,
Theft
right?
one. Felony donut theft. I couldn't even imagine responding to that
The
call.
most egregious crime. He stole my donuts!
Officer, there he goes. There's the donut. He's eating it. He's destroying the evidence. Then you can charge him with tampering.
Oh my gosh!
He stole a donut and shoved it down his throat. Getting arrested for theft one and tampering with evidence.
Tampering with evidence.
You wanted that donut so bad.
Oh my
Now you're a
God.
2-time felon.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
That'd be amazing.
I didn't even think about that. Because it would be, technically.
Can
Probably.
you imagine just getting hammered for that one?
The courts would throw that out quick.
No!
Oh, yeah,
no.
they would.
We
They
have
would.
to.
No, they wouldn't do it. Not in Washington. This is not a state that if you charge them with something, they're going to be like, yeah, let's get this guy. They're going to be like, well,
Maybe
what can
he
we
just
do to help
really
him?
wanted the donut.
Yeah, maybe he needed it.
He needed the cream pill
Maybe he
donut.
needed that. Maybe his doctor told him he needed more sugar in his diet.
He probably just woke up.
Yeah,
He was
probably
busy
just woke up.
being a law-abiding rich citizen the other day. He's like, I need a donut. Saw somebody with it. It's like, I have to get that.
I have to get that. Oh gosh. Well, that's good. We're over an hour.
Hooray! We did it!
did
Yay!
it. We did it. That is episode 5. Thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, thanks
but-
for listening.
Well-
Leave a comment and subscribe. Smash that like button because it does give us it does something, right?
It just helps boost it in the old
Yeah, we
YouTube
need-
algorithm.
Yeah, old YouTube
The
algorithm.
old YouTube algorithm.
Get us in the algorithm.
Yep, get us in there.
We need it. I need our name on that action. Appreciate your guys' viewership. Have a great morning, evening.
Whatever time
If you're
it is for
listening
you.
to this while you're going to sleep, then you do your thing.
Yep,
Yeah, that's great.
yep. But yeah, well, thank you guys for coming. Hopefully you guys are still enjoying. We're over 100 downloads on the podcast now, which is pretty cool. I think we're at 120 or so.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which is pretty good for just starting out a podcast.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Plus, we get several hundred views on YouTube, which is nice. So, yeah, and I mean, I enjoy doing it, so I don't really care regardless. But I just enjoy it. It's just an excuse to
We
hang
do
out with
this.
you and talk.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Yep. Thank you guys for coming. Again, yeah, thank you. All right, guys.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.